For Mario Kart, we get serious. Most of you are probably aware at this point, Mario Kart World has come out and has been out for over a week now, and I have had the pleasure of playing an absurd amount of hours of it. I've already played over 55 hours, and I have almost 100% of the entire game. So I think I have a pretty good idea of what that game actually is, at least in the state it's in, before any updates come out. So that being said, I felt that we are due for a tier list video. Last time I did a tier list video was of Mario Party, and I had a lot of people agree with me, a lot of people disagree with me, so I'm excited to see where this goes. You can already see that I have Mario Kart 8 stuff behind me. I actually won that on the Switch 2 launch day. Well, I technically didn't win it. Technically, my brother won it, but he didn't want it, so I got it. What I did win was this, the Golden Plunger. It has Mario at the top. And I got that for being the best at Mario Kart. That was a trivia game. This was Mario Kart. Somehow I ended up with both trophies. All right, so the very first game in the Mario Kart series that we're going to discuss here is the very first Mario Kart. So, Super Mario Kart. Where does this thing land? The thing is with Super Mario Kart, and I'm pretty sure this will not be an unpopular opinion, it was awesome for its time that it even existed, but it was not a great game. At least it hasn't aged very well. So, Super Mario Kart has quite a few glaring issues. Number one being, it is very flat. You can tell that they did a weird 3D trickery thing to even make it work. Nowadays, that just doesn't hold up like any of the rest of the games, including 64, which we will get to. But Super Mario Kart, I can only thank pretty much for inventing Rainbow Road and SNES Rainbow Road, because that was my favorite. Yes, Super Mario Kart will, unfortunately, even though it spawned this stupid tier list in the first place, D tier. Very, very not good, did not age well, but we thank it for existing. Well, now we get to the next game, Mario Kart 64. Now this one is interesting because as much as a lot of people don't really care for Mario Kart 64 anymore, I do. I think Mario Kart 64 is the greatest pinnacle of broken Mario Kart that ever existed. Even though everyone else will tell you Wii, I didn't grow up with Wii for some reason. It was my generation. I was more of a GameCube kid. So here we are. I actually played GameCube and 64 more often, and I almost never played Mario Kart Wii. I thought the idea of motion controls was insane when I went to my uncle's house and even got to see that he had one. So, Mario Kart 64, I learned all the broken tricks to all the stages, and I had a blast with it, and I loved it. I also think that the battle mode was really good in this game. Even though it would take out all the music if you had 4 players, you could blow each other up with a bomb after you died, so that was really fun, and you could take out your anger on somebody. So, Mario Kart 64 for me is definitely... here's the problem. I want to say A tier. But is it really A tier? Let me look at the other ones on the list. Probably A- tier. B+ territory. I'll probably put it in A tier just because I'll get more hate comments doing that. Next game that came out was Mario Kart Super Circuit. I don't like this game. I know a lot of people like this game. I don't like this game. I don't like this game to the point that I'm putting it right here. And you might not like me for that. It's over Super Mario Kart. Don't like this game. I'm sorry. I like the Game Boy Advance. I do not like this game. I don't ever play it for any reason unless I want to show somebody how bad this game was. For that reason, Mario Kart Super Circuit is not going to age well and is going to end in D tier. Now things get interesting because now we're ending at what a lot of people consider the pinnacle and a lot of people consider the worst part of the entire series. Mario Kart Double Dash. This game, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of the series. Well, not the pinnacle, but we'll get to that in a minute. But as far as a good, rounded, great Mario Kart experience goes, you have everything in this game. Not only do you have 2 goofy drivers that you can choose, so that way if you're indecisive on who you want to play, you can have both. It's also just got one of the greatest battle modes you will ever play, and its gameplay is just so solid. And Donkey Kong Mountain really helps. So, without a doubt, Mario Kart Double Dash gets S tier. But don't worry, it is not the only Mario Kart that will be up there. Just give me a minute. The next few I'm going to list are the arcade racing ones. I'm going to be honest, I've played probably all of them, except for this VR one, which goes in I wish I had played. I don't remember which one is what. I know how I feel about all 3 of them. So we're just going to throw all of them in C tier, undecided which way they go. They're fine. They're fun. If you're in an arcade and you're like, man, I really wish I was at home playing Nintendo, that's about the best you're going to get. So I take it. I mean, other than the Luigi Mansion Dave and Buster's cool little thing, I got to play that. I liked that. But Mario Kart, it's fine. I'm probably crazy enough to eventually buy one of those arcade machines, but it's not exactly the most amazing experience you'll have in your entire life. So C tier, it's fine. Anyway, back on track. The next game I'm going to go over is Mario Kart DS. This game, okay, now I know I'm a 20-year-old male, and I've already given Double Dash S tier. Here's the thing, Mario Kart DS, S tier. This is how I feel about them. You see where I'm going back and forth? That's how I feel. Because some days, Double Dash is the greatest game I've ever played, and some days, Mario Kart DS is the greatest game I've ever played. Here are my reasons. Mario Kart DS has a mission mode, but forget that. Mario Kart DS can be played on the go. That was a great, phenomenal thing. I was able to play Mario Kart DS with my boys all the freaking time when I was younger. It was a blast. Hold on. I have a Mario Kart DS kit. This right here, I love this thing because I take it with me in my backpack. Even though I have the Switch 2 and the Switch and all these other cool things, I keep this with me because if you open it, you get one DS, a ton of DS games. Now this looks like a sponsor, it's clearly not. But then hidden here, well, I'm trying to show it, I have another DS. So that way if anybody wants to play with me, I always have two with me, and I have double the Mario Kart fun instead of just playing by myself. Mario Kart DS, if you can't tell, is exceedingly good in my opinion. And so for that reason, these two are about as neck and neck as it's gonna get. But hold the phone because now we're at an interesting part. We're at Mario Kart Wii. This game spawned Coconut Mall. This game spawned a million children who thought that this was the pinnacle of video gaming. I am here to tell you that this game is B tier, lower than 64. This game is fine. It's got this stupid yellow tint on it. It doesn't look half as good as Double Dash for some reason, even though the Wii was basically just an overclocked GameCube. But lo and behold, it's still not that good. It's just so dang goofy because there's so much going on in that game that you're constantly getting hit by stuff. Very, I would say, low skill gap, except for all the speedrunning stuff that completely destroys that sentence. But essentially, I don't think it's that great. I think it's fine. I would never choose to play it except for when I'm like, man, I've never played that much Mario Kart Wii. I need to play more just to kind of get an idea. So I did that recently, and it is still just Mario Kart Wii. The battle mode is atrocious. Like, I like Twilight House, but it still doesn't make up for the fact that they ruined battle mode. This was the entry that did it. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's the most mid Mario Kart gets. Speaking of mid, Mario Kart 7. Okay, I'm not gonna, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Mario Kart 7 gets A underneath 64. That's where it lies. Mario Kart 7's good. It really is. It's like as Mario Kart gets. Or Mario Kart Wii is like Mario Kart that's fanatic and crazy and frantic and whatever the words I'm looking for here. Mario Kart 7 just is like, imagine Mario Kart, and they gave it to you. And it's like, you're not imagining a special twist on Mario Kart. You're just imagining Mario Kart at its very, very base. No interesting thing going on. That's what this game is. Even though it introduced paragliding and it introduced underwater stuff, it didn't really kind of reach its potential until a certain game, Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 is freaking awesome. I freaking love Mario Kart 8. Everybody loves Mario Kart 8. That's, boom, S tier, not exactly. A tier, because this is not the Mario Kart 8 we're talking about yet. This is normal Mario Kart 8. This is not the Mario Kart 8 that's gonna knock your socks off. This is not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know, you see that? You see the point? It's not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's Mario Kart 8. It's really, really good, really solid game. Better than 64. But not quite as good as the next game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Oh, this game right here, right up here with it. The thing is, I will say this. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as a game is the better game than DS or Double Dash. Do I have as much fun playing that game as DS or Double Dash? No. I do think it's really just obscenely solid. It is about one of the best titles Nintendo has ever put out. Nobody really even disagrees with that. That's a hot take if you think that that's not true, because it's, I mean, especially by the end of the DLC. I mean, oh my gosh, it was overwhelming. Even now, Mario Kart World does not live up in the amount of tracks. It does for other reasons, but I digress. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a solid S tier, and the only reason it's not above DS and Double Dash is because I personally don't have as much fun playing with my boys than I do with DS and Double Dash. The next game is Mario Kart Tour. Better than Super Circuit and Super Mario Kart. Kill me. I'm not... Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry. Whoops. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, Mario Kart World. From this lovely little system right here, the Nintendo Switch 2. Look, you can kind of see the tier list right there. First of all, I just love the system. This has been so great. If you don't have a Switch 2 yet, what are you doing? Mario Kart World's on this thing. Look at this. Check that out. You can just take the Joy-Con off, and it goes right back on like that. That's worth $500. It's great. You should have a Switch 2. Anyway, Mario Kart World, the point. This game is so dang interesting. Because Mario Kart World is only obscenely awful or obscenely, massively, no competition, the best in the series to do it. And that's just how this whole game is designed. I don't even know why it's designed that way. Let's go over a couple examples. Gameplay, S+ tier, done. If this was off gameplay alone, it would be the highest of all of them. Because the gameplay is so solid. Now that you can go on walls and rail grind and all kinds of nonsense and trick infinitely, it just feels like the most premium Mario Kart's gonna get. You have made all the other Mario Karts feel obsolete. There's no point anymore. On the other hand, the UI in this game is so dumb. I'm so dumb. There is absolutely no reason in this world. Yeah, see what I did? Anyway, there's no reason in this world that the character select should be the way it is. That is a sin. That is a sin against all UI creators everywhere. Why do they make the costumes separate? Mario Kart 8 figured this out when they added 8 Yoshi colors and 8 Shy Guy colors and Gold and Silver Mario, and that was fine. Everyone figured it out. Everyone figured this out before the GameCube came out. But in this game, for whatever reason, Nintendo felt the need to just bloat the roster. It is bad. I like playing Parabitty Buddy. That is my main in this game, because I like running him in his cart. You know, it's fun. It's Parabitty Buddy in a Bitty Buddy buggy. It's fun. Here's the thing. Bitty Buddy is the second to last character when you unlock everybody. So you're either having to spawn in the middle of it when you're in free roam and go either side and it takes just long to get to the end, or you have to go all the way to the end, or obviously they do let you loop to the other side if you're on a normal Grand Prix, so that's the faster way to do it. But it makes no sense because I have to go through so much to get to Bitty Buddy. And that's for any character, really. Like I said, if you spawn in the middle, if you're playing Bowser or something who's like directly the center of the roster, and you're trying to get anywhere, it's just difficult. There's no reason it should have been that way. Mario Kart 8 had figured that out. So UI is awful. But on the other hand, the open world is so good. I love it. I'm almost 100% of the game, like I said. In ways I want to make an entire video dedicated to the idea of 100%ing this game. It is just so fun sometimes, because even if the open world is that good and the P-Switch missions are interesting and fun like all the time, you know, the way they made it seem is that it was just going to be the same thing over and over. And in some ways it is, but in other ways it's new every single time. There's this one mission in Shy Guy Bazaar that's kind of taken the internet by storm because it's so dang difficult, but it's such a good challenge. And I just love doing it. It's just fun to replay it. But then there's the unlockables, also known as no unlockables. But also the unlockables that are there, like mirror mode, make no sense on the requirements that they want you to even get them. I don't understand in the slightest why they have decided to make mirror mode as confusing and stupid to unlock as they have. It was so confusing that Nintendo sent out an email to people explaining the requirements to unlock it. For days after people got this game, we could not figure out how to unlock it. That's how stupid the requirements were. So for that reason, I just don't understand why they would do that. And then the worst of all unlockables, I think in any Mario Kart game ever, including the stupid unlockables in Super Circuit, if you know what I'm talking about, the Kamek orb. What were they thinking with the Kamek orb? This is the dumbest, most ridiculous unlocking method I have ever seen. With Mario Kart 8 Deluxe being as polished and as good as it was, I do not understand how you can make World the best thing ever, and on the other hand, the worst. This unlocking, it makes no sense because all it is just random. You get a super rare item, you fire it, and then you have a chance of getting your unlockable. I know in certain areas, it's easier to unlock certain characters, or is the only place you can unlock certain characters. I understand that's how that works, but it's still so ridiculous that this is the method to unlocking. I can't even imagine, because this is early on, so I guess in a couple of years, this will age like fine wine or like milk, but I would love to see the 100% speedruns on this. It's just a lot of re-rolling. And so unless there's some weird method that we find out later on that makes this pretty consistent, I mean, I grinded just getting the fishbone for an hour. I know there was a guy on Twitter who spent 6 hours grinding for fishbone. It makes no logical sense that they would have decided to make this the way to unlock characters. I don't care about the costumes. The costumes are one thing. That's pretty easy, honestly. If you know what you're doing, you go to the places, you do the characters, whatever. I don't get it. Anyway, that's a lot of words. But all that being said, where does Mario Kart World land? Not D tier clearly, and it's not C tier clearly. Here's the thing. I'm kidding, it's S tier. Look, it's really great. It really is. If you get past all the garbage and the stupid and the no logical sense of the unlockables, pretty much the biggest problem with this entire game is just the character select menu and the unlockables. Then it's just about as perfect as Mario Kart ever gets. The gameplay is that good. It's just that good. If you haven't had the chance to play it, either one, go buy a Switch 2, or two, go to a Walmart or something that has a Switch 2 kiosk already out. I've seen some of those have already. I mean, you know, I don't know, Walmart. You all have one. Go to a Walmart or someplace that's got a kiosk. Give it a try. It is very fun. When we get DLC for this game, I don't even know what to expect, and I am excited for the DLC because it is just gonna probably blow our minds. And I think that Mario Kart World is better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because that game controls so good, it makes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe feel funny. And I don't know how else to describe it than that. That's pretty much the best I can say. Now, as far as DS and Double Dash go, Mario Kart World, in some ways, as I mentioned before, would be here. And in other ways, would be here. These top three are kind of like pending on the mood. It depends on my mood where it's going to go. So, with all that being said, thanks for watching. This was my Mario Kart tier list. And if you want more Switch 2 stuff, I will be making more Switch 2 stuff. Please consider subscribing. I desperately need it. And you get, you know, I get subscriber, you get content. It's like a very simple understanding. I wore a suit for this. That's it. Thanks. Yeah, bye and stuff. Enjoy your Mario Kart Worlding if that's what you're doing. Have fun. Bye now.